Close your eyes for a moment, not to sleep, but to awaken. For it is not in effort, but in awareness, that transformation takes place. The version of you that you long to be already exists, not in the far-off future, but in this very moment, suspended in consciousness, waiting only for your acceptance. To act as the millionaire version of you is not pretense. It is recognition. Begin not by changing your clothes, your car, or your calendar. Begin by changing your conception of self. Walk in the awareness that you are already all you desire to be. When you open your wallet, do not curse its emptiness. Instead, bless its potential, for what you accept within will manifest without. If you desire to be wealthy, then embody the wealth now. How does that version of you speak, think, move? Decide. Do not wait for permission from the world. The world waits for instruction from you. Go into the silence. There, assume the tone, the feeling, the energy of abundance. Do not wish for wealth. Be it. When doubts arise, and they will, return to your center. Say quietly to yourself, "This is who I am now." Not someday, not when circumstances agree. Now. You must not strive to become. You must accept that you already are. The world may laugh at your boldness, let it. The truth does not require applause. Live today in the feeling that all is yours already. And in time, the world will echo your inner claim with evidence. You are not hoping for a different life. You are remembering who you truly are. Act from that remembrance. Spend from that confidence. Walk in that knowing. This is how you act as the millionaire version of you. You are not waiting to become wealthy. That is the great illusion, the belief that wealth is somewhere out there in the future, waiting to arrive when certain conditions are met. But the truth is far simpler and far more profound. You become wealthy the moment you assume that you are. And when you do, the world has no choice but to reflect it. Imagination is not daydreaming, it is not fantasy, it is creative power in its purest form. What you imagine with feeling, you clothe in form. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror, and it reflects faithfully the images you hold within yourself, those to which you give life through repetition, belief, and emotion. You are not shaping your world through action first. Action is the echo. The true cause lies in the unseen. Before any wealth appears in the physical, it must be conceived in the mind and felt in the body. When you imagine yourself as wealthy, when you fully embody that idea, something shifts. Not out there, but within. You begin to make decisions differently. You carry yourself differently. You perceive differently. You attract and repel based on that new identity. Many people believe that imagination is childish or make-believe. But look around you. Everything that is man-made was first imagined. The chair you sit on, the house you live in, the clothes on your back, all once lived in the unseen. Someone imagined them, believed in them, and held to that vision until the world responded. Why then would your own life be any different? The mistake most people make is that they live in reaction. They observe what is and accept it as final. They look at their bank account, their job, their circumstances, and say, "This is who I am." But this is not who you are. This is who you were. It is merely the result of past assumptions, past beliefs, and past imaginings. If you do not like what you see, then it is you. You change not by force, but by vision. You sit quietly, you close your eyes, and you see yourself differently. You feel what it's like to have more than enough. You taste the freedom of choice. You hear the confidence in your voice. You walk in that scene, not looking at it as a distant observer, but participating in it now in the first person. You make it vivid. You saturate it with feeling. You believe it. Not because you see it, but because you know it. And then you carry that feeling into your day. You hold it like a sacred secret. You act, speak, and think from that new state, not toward it, but from it. You declare, I am. That is the key. The moment you shift your identity, reality has no choice but to conform. It may not happen instantly. There may be echoes of the old state for a while. But if you persist in your assumption, it must materialize. So you must stop waiting. Waiting implies it is not yours. Hoping implies doubt. Needing implies lack. Instead, be it. Feel it. Trust it. Your imagination is the doorway. It is not a suggestion, it is the blueprint, it is the law by which all things come to be. Every day, revisit the image of who you desire to be, not with longing, but with conviction. Make it real to you, make it normal, make it inevitable, and soon the world around you will bow to that inner command. For what is imagined with feeling must become fact. The only thing you ever truly possess is your state of being. Not your car, not your house, not your job, not even your name. These are all temporary conditions, changeable, unstable, subject to decay and loss. But your state, your inner awareness, your assumption of identity is the one thing that determines everything else. You can be stripped of possessions, of recognition, of status, but the state you occupy within cannot be taken from you unless you surrender to yourself. If you believe yourself to be lacking, struggling, unseen, then even if money touches your hands, it will vanish. Even if opportunity knocks, you will not answer. Why? Because your state does not match it. You are not tuned to that channel. You are living in the consciousness of lack, and so abundance cannot stay. It is like oil on water. It does not mix. But when you live now in the consciousness of wealth, everything begins to shift. You do not have to force anything. You do not have to hustle or grind your way to visibility. The outer world, which seems so real, is only a shadow, an obedient servant to your inner world. And when the inner changes, the outer must obey. This is not about pretending. It is not about faking confidence or acting wealthy for the sake of appearances. It is about identifying yourself inwardly as one who already has, already is, already lives in fullness. And when that becomes your truth, the world begins to echo it. You walk differently when you are not trying to get something, but when you know you already have it. You speak differently, with calm and certainty. You are not desperate, you are not chasing, you are allowing. And this subtle shift, the movement from striving to being, is the birthplace of all manifestation. You do not need to know how it will come. That is not your role. Your role is simple: to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, to feel now what it would feel like if everything you wanted were already yours. Not someday, not if you're lucky, but now. The world around you is a loyal mirror. If it seems cold or indifferent, check the state you are in. If it seems full of obstacles, ask yourself what story you've been telling internally. Everything out there is only reflecting what's going on in here. People think they need to change their job, move to a different city, meet different people. But these are effects, not causes. Rearranging shadows does not change the source of the light. The true shift happens within. Occupy the state of wealth, of success, of peace, whatever it is you desire, and let the world respond to that. It will, it has to. It is bound by the same law that governs the rising of the sun and the falling of the rain. You can test this today, right now. Without moving a muscle, you can assume the feeling of already being the person you dream of becoming. Close your eyes and feel it real. Let it soak into your bones. Carry that with you and watch what happens. It may not unfold exactly as you imagine, but it will come. It will come in the form that most faithfully matches the state you dwell in. So choose your state carefully, revisit it often, guard it fiercely. For your state is not just a mood, it is your creative center, and in that center, everything you seek already lives. All things follow consciousness, because consciousness is the only reality. Don't reach for money, don't strive, grasp, or chase after it. These actions are born from the belief that you don't already possess it, that it is somewhere out there, away from you, withheld. But that belief itself creates the very distance you wish to close. You must instead embody the emotional tone of already having it, that feeling. Calm, secure, grateful, free is the secret gateway through which it enters your life. Everything begins with a feeling, not with effort, not with logic, not with statistics. The outer world is moved by the inner state, and the inner state is dictated by feeling. When you feel rich, you live differently. You breathe decisions from a place of confidence instead of fear. And when you live from that place, reality bends to mirror it. To truly manifest wealth, you must dwell in the end, not think about it as a concept, but feel it as a lived reality. It is not enough to say, I want to be rich. You must become emotionally involved with the idea of already being rich. How would you feel if it were already done? What would change in your posture, your voice, your inner dialogue? You see, the subconscious mind, the true builder of your life, does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined and felt. When you feel it as real, it becomes impressed upon that deeper mind, and what is impressed there must be expressed out here. When you worry about bills, when you obsess over lack, when you beg and plead for money, you are sending a message that you are separate from it, that it is not yet yours, and so it remains elusive. But the moment you enter into the feeling of already having more than enough, you bridge the gap. You bring the unseen into form. This is not pretending, this is creation. Pretending is weak. It is play acting without belief. But creation is conviction. It is entering the emotional space of your fulfilled desire so deeply that your entire body, mind, and spirit align with it. Feeling is the key. Not words, not repetition, but desperation, but feeling. So ask yourself, what does abundance feel like to me? Not what it looks like, not what it buys, but what does it feel like? Is it freedom? Is it peace? Is it security? Is it joy? Identify that core emotion and begin to cultivate it now, without waiting, without needing the world to change first. You do this in stillness, in silence. You close your eyes and surrender the outer world. You enter the inner sanctuary and begin to construct the scene of your fulfilled desire. Not as a distant hope, but as a present truth, you feel the comfort of knowing everything is paid for. You hear the voice of calm saying you are taken care of. You sense the lightness in your chest, the ease in your breath, and you carry that tone into your day, not to get something, but because you already are something. The greatest trap you will ever face is the one presented by your senses. What you see, hear, touch, and measure appears so final, so fixed, that you forget it is nothing more than a shadow cast by a deeper truth. You look at your bank account, your job, your circumstances, and without knowing it, you accept them as who you are. But this is the lie. This is the illusion. You are not your current condition. You are your inner conviction and nothing more. To detach from the outer world is not to ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist. It is to stop letting it define you. It is to stop bowing to appearances. You must understand that the world outside is only a mirror. It has no power of its own. It is a reflection of your inner state, your assumptions, and your persistent beliefs. When you react to what is, you freeze yourself in place. You declare, this is real, and by doing so you keep it alive. But when you turn inward, when you choose your feeling over your facts, you unlock your true power. You begin to move from creation rather than reaction. You stop chasing reality and begin shaping it. The world may tell you you're broke. It may scream limitation. But if within you feel wealthy, secure, and free, then your assumption will in time harden into fact. This is the discipline. To remain faithful to your inner knowing when everything outside contradicts it. To walk in the feeling of I have, even when the evidence insists you don't. This is not delusion. It is divine authority. It is choosing to live from the cause, not the effect. You must remember, conditions are not permanent. They are merely the echo of a previous assumption. They are yesterday's thoughts clothed in today's form. So if you don't like what you see, do not fight with it. Do not beg it to change. Simply withdraw your attention from it and place it upon the unseen reality you prefer. Imagination is your secret sanctuary. There you are free. There you are unbound. You can construct the scene of your desired life and dwell in it as if it were already true. Not looking at it from afar, but living in it now, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And if you remain loyal to that inner world, if you refuse to betray it for what your eyes see, then the outer must conform. So do not let a number on a screen define your identity. Do not let the opinion of others shake your knowing. Your only job is to assume the state of the person you desire to be and hold it. Not for a minute, not for a day, but until it becomes your natural dwelling place. Until you forget there was ever a time you were not it. You are not meant to live in reaction, you are meant to live in vision. The senses will try to distract you. They will try to convince you of lack, delay, and impossibility. But they are only reporting what was, not what is coming. They are slow to catch up to the speed of your imagination. So detach, not with resistance, but with calm, with certainty, with quiet power. Choose again and again to believe in your inner conviction more than the outer condition. Choose to walk by faith, not by sight, because the moment you do, reality begins to bend. Subtle at first, then obvious, then undeniable. And one day, the world will reflect exactly what you once chose to believe when no one else could see it. You will look around and realize it was never the outer world that held the power. It was always you. The key is not to wish, not to hope, but to assume and persist in that assumption. You are already the millionaire version of yourself, not because your outer world shows it yet, but because within you have claimed it, and once claimed, it is yours. But this is not a one-time act. It is not a passing thought or a moment of excitement. It is a daily return, a quiet, unwavering commitment to the inner knowing that what you have assumed is real. This is the secret of all transformation. Persistence in the assumption. You must return again and again to that still place within you where your new identity lives. You visit it in silence. You dwell in it in stillness. And you walk out into the world as if nothing could contradict it. Because to the one who assumes correctly, nothing can. The outer world will often lag behind. It may reflect fragments of the old state. People may speak to you based on who you used to be. Circumstances may challenge you to doubt. But none of it matters. What matters is your loyalty to the new version of you, the one who already has, already is, already lives in wealth. Do not confuse repetition with persistence. Repetition is mechanical. Persistence is alive. It's emotional. It's your decision to feel it real again and again until the feeling becomes familiar, until it becomes natural. That's when the shift happens. when the new state no longer feels like something you're reaching for, but something you simply are. Ask yourself, how does the millionaire version of me think? How does he or she move through the world? What does that person believe about life, about money, about self-worth? And then assume those answers. Put them on like clothing, not with effort, but with inner certainty. Because when you wear a state long enough, the world no longer questions it. It accepts it as truth. Your assumption is more powerful than your environment. It overrides facts. It dissolves obstacles. It reorganizes events and people and timing. But only if you hold to it. You cannot shift from assumption to doubt and expect the world to stay in alignment. You must return. Again and again, you must persist. This persistence is not hard, it's not a struggle, it's gentle, it's sacred. You wake up in the morning and align. Before the noise of the world enters, you anchor yourself in the feeling of already having. You return at night just before sleep when the conscious mind loosens, and you impress the subconscious with your truth. I am already it. Between waking and sleeping, you remain faithful. Not perfect, not rigid, but faithful. When doubt whispers, you don't argue, you don't fight, you simply return. You rest in the knowing. You let your inner conviction speak louder than your outer senses. This is the game of the awakened soul, to know that the world is clay and your assumption is the hand that shapes it. But shaping takes consistency. You wouldn't expect a seed to sprout without care. Likewise, your assumption must be watered daily, quietly. So do not ask, where is it? That question belongs to the old state. Instead, declare it is done and then live from that truth in your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Because when you persist in the assumption that you are already who you desire to be, the world can do nothing but yield. There is a profound shift that happens when you stop striving to become and instead begin to act from the truth that you already are. This shift is subtle to the world, but seismic within. It is the moment you decide that there is nothing to chase, nothing to reach for, nothing to wait on, because what you desire is already yours in consciousness. And since consciousness is the only true reality, that means it is already so. You are not acting toward the millionaire version of you. That path is filled with effort, delay, and the quiet assumption that you are not yet there. Instead, you act from it, because in the unseen, in the imagination, in the core of your being, you already possess the thing the world tells you is still far away. And once you act from that inner state, life begins to mold itself to match it. This does not mean forcing or pretending. You are not to walk through life arrogantly or artificially, but naturally. Let it be a gentle embodiment, a deep knowing that changes how you speak, how you respond, how you move. The person who already is never needs to prove. They move in certainty, they carry peace, not urgency. When you move from the state of already being it, you no longer ask for signs. You no longer wonder when or how. Those questions only arise from the belief that it is not yet yours. Instead, you make choices from your new identity. You think, what would I do if I already had it? And then you do that. Not because you're trying to make something happen, but because that is who you are now. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will say, be realistic, look at your circumstances, but the awakened soul knows better. You are not here to react to the outer, you are here to create from the inner. Your imagination is not fantasy, it is the blueprint of your becoming. And the moment you act from it, you fuse with it. Imagine a stage play. The actor who truly becomes the role doesn't think about how to get there. They act from the character moment to moment. The audience believes it, not because it's real yet, but because the actor believes it first. and so must you. You are not preparing to be the millionaire version of you, you are stepping into it. Now, this inner assumption expresses itself outwardly in the smallest of ways: how you carry yourself, the decisions you make, the boundaries you set, the way you invest your time. Each action taken from the state reinforces the state, and every time you act from it, the old state loses power. Eventually, it dissolves. Don't confuse this with external validation. You are not waiting for the world to confirm who you are. You are moving as if it already has. And ironically, it is because you no longer need confirmation that confirmation begins to show up. People treat you differently. Opportunities unfold, doors open, not because you chased them, but because your assumption commanded them. If ever you slip, if doubt creeps in, don't condemn yourself. Simply return. Return to the feeling, the vision, the knowing, and from that place, live again. Speak again. Choose again. This is the art of embodiment, not wishing, not hoping, but dwelling in the consciousness of your desired state and acting from it, naturally, consistently, faithfully. Because when you act from the state, you no longer seek transformation, you express it. And the outer world, ever obedient to your inner conviction, has no choice but to follow. The truth has always been simple. You are not here to become, you are here to remember who you already are. The millionaire version of you is not some distant dream waiting to unfold. It is a present reality waiting for your recognition. Through imagination, through persistence in assumption, through detachment from the scene and through acting from the state rather than toward it, you awaken to the truth. Your world is nothing but the shadow cast by your inner state. Live now as though it is done. Think from the end. Feel from the wish fulfilled. Do not concern yourself with time or appearances. The world will always bend itself to the shape of your self-concept. You don't have to chase or beg or force, because you already are. The moment you claim it within, you begin to see it without. So I remind you, walk with the quiet certainty of someone who knows their imagination creates reality. Stay loyal to the vision, even in the silence, especially in the silence. The world is shifting in ways you cannot yet see. Your only task is to remain faithful to the state of being, the one who already has. Thank you for listening, and thank you for remembering your power. It's already yours.